As a reminder, ICE requires a spirit, a method, and tools. Among the ICE tools we have the ICE Canvas, a lifeline, a to-do list, and a toolbox of coaching activities. The Business Model Canvas is a tool that helps structure the different components of a business. To develop a business, it is necessary to precise the specificity of the product or services you want to offer, for which customers, with which resources, how will communicate, and so on. In the ICE Canvas, you adapt the model starting from the talents, specificities, and wishes of the young person who offers one's services instead of asking for a job. It allows the young person to reverse the relationship to the business world by being aware of one's uniqueness and one's personal goal. The ICE Canvas enables to check the feasibility of the youngster professional project. It is also the starting point for an actions plan, as it points out the strengths and weaknesses to be either highlighted or improved. Each box of the business model canvas has been adapted to a personal case. You can help the young person work by asking a series of questions or by doing some coaching activities with him or her. To achieve one's goal, the young person has to take actions. On the path to one's ultimate goal, intermediate goals, like a training or driving a license, can be set up. Let's take the example of Mary, whom I met a few months ago. A day of September, a city in Europe. Mary is a young person without a job. Mary is not at school. Mary is what we call a young NEET. She doesn't know what she is able to do. She has no vision. School is a bad remembrance, and her kids' dreams are far away. Today, Mary meets her new coach for the first time. During the first interview, the coach asks Mary what was her dream when she was a kid. She hesitates and finally says, "I like kids. I wanted to be a teacher, but it's not possible today. I will never be able to have the good qualification." Mary has tried to find a job in the social services for childhood, recreation centers, but the answer is always the same. She's not experienced. Mary wants to leave the family house. It's difficult, but it could be a motivation too. 14 days after, Mary wants to work. She knows it, but she doesn't see where she could be employed. The coach proposes her to work on her first personal canvas model and help her to plan action. James used an one-on-one interview with Mary to talk to her and help her put the important elements of a situation on paper. The idea is to help Mary visualize the current situation and help her identify which important areas she needs to work on. James and Mary produced a first canvas. The canvas allowed Mary and James to identify the milestones to be reached in order to reach the final goal. Identifying these intermediate objectives helps to structure the route into steps that are easier to achieve. 14 days after interviewing Mary, the ICE coach understands she could have a particular talent to communicate with children and gives her many reasons why it's difficult for her to find a job without any qualification in that field. Mary needs to do something, even if it's not for economic reason. She spots the opportunity to become a volunteer for an association that helps kids. During 2 months, she gains confidence and discovers two things. Her capacity to communicate and act with kids is a real asset. Finding a job in child care is maybe not impossible, but it will probably take her a long journey. Mary has enforced her motivation. That could be the good time for a second personal canvas model. Mary evolved. She acted. Of course, much remains to be done, but in the present moment, Canvas is a way to visualize the progress made. James uses Canvas to anchor progress and value Mary. Mary is represented by a smiley face. Through the actions, Mary had advanced the smiley face. It aims to use the internet because it has realized that not doing so is a handicap in its research efforts. For the last 6 months, Mary has been a volunteer in an association. They propose her to continue her missions, but only if she accepts to be trained. Mary is afraid. She says it's difficult for her and doesn't want to go back to school. Fortunately, her ice coach is there to talk with her. The ice coach explains her that training is not school and helps her to raise her self-awareness. The ice coach helps Mary to realize how much she made progress since the beginning. 1 week later, Mary is still afraid, but she is ready to begin a new adventure. She takes the initiative to contact Monroe, a supervisor, to give her decision. That's the moment for a new canvas. Six months have passed since the beginning of Mary's accompaniment, and these 6 months have allowed her to consider her future. She dared to follow an intuition that she had for a long time and show that she had assets and resources. Mary advanced, and it's not over. A milestone is reached. Each companion will be able to carry out his own interview process and prepare his own questions. But it is a mechanic that is tamed. To help you use the canvas comfortably and efficiently, we offer simple questions for each box. Here are some examples based on Mary's first canvas.
What talent were you born with?
It's easy for me to talk with kids.
What do others appreciate about you?
My friends say I'm a good person. They often add too much good.
Who knows what you'd like to do?
Nobody expected my brother. I don't talk with anyone. I'm very shy.
What kind of work would you like to do?
For the moment, I don't know. I would have liked to take care of kids, but I think it's not possible.
Do you use social media to search for opportunities?
I don't use the internet. It's so unsafe for me.
What kind of clothes do you put on for a job interview?
I don't know. I didn't ever had a job interview.
What do you have to sort out before you can go to work?
I don't drive. I use public transport, but I need money to pay my tickets.
What's in it for you on a personal level?
Working could be a personal satisfaction. It's important to me to feel that I have an utility.
Why should an employer choose you and not others?
Because there is no others. In the Purpose Toolbox, you will find a guideline for 16 coaching activities that relates both to entrepreneurial skills and to the ICE canvas. Now, before beginning, a small recap.